Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. So welcome, friends, to episode number 112 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. So there is often a time in our life where the day-to-day doesn't feel like it cuts it anymore. We want some of that magic and that mystique back. And we are looking for something that is intangible, something that feels extraordinary. And this might be this feeling or an experience where we feel so connected to the moment in such a way that we get lost in it. And so today we're going to look at what it means to have that feeling of intention and detail to a craft, and to be inspired again by our work. So I recently went back to my childhood home and I was cleaning out some things in my room when I noticed a few of my projects from when I was younger. These were things that I spent a copious amount of time on. And as a child, I kind of remembered that, wow, like we were so focused. They were things like a book that I had written, maybe poems or art projects. Even the organization of my jewelry box was so detailed, and you could tell that there was so much focus and attention. It was like I was able to see inside the head of what a focused and creative person would look like and the kind of things that they would create. So decades later, I realized that so much more had been added to life, that there were fewer moments where I felt like I had the time or the space to actually dedicate myself to something fully. There was this feeling of just so much more that had to be done. I felt more like an assembly line where I was an operator and things would just come in front of me and I'd have to process them to get them out and over to the next person as soon as I could. If you think about emails, right, this feeling of there's just so many to write, almost like you're just processing things and getting something out of your court and into someone else's court. There are decks to present so that you can make decisions and move on. And the focus becomes one where we're just trying to get as much done in as little of time as possible. And in that drive to efficiency, what I started realizing was that the root cause of trying to get things so efficient was a sense of unease. I had to get it done so I could feel better. And I didn't appreciate all the things that actually were coming my way. I just wanted to get them done, yet I noticed that this wanting to be done was never ending. And as soon as I said, okay, just one more push, one sprint, let's push hard for that next 6 months to get this done. Let's push hard tonight. It became a sense of never-ending sprints. Another thing would come into my world. I would say, okay, here's the next one. And I would just push again for another month, 3 months, 6 months. And this is where you start to see exhaustion start to come into play, boredom, maybe feelings of burnout and overwhelm also. And so, of course, I'm not saying that there is anything wrong with being efficient and learning how to use our time better. But when we have gotten to a point where we know what it's like to do things with a certain sense of drive or efficiency, there also becomes that next level of productivity where we're looking for that X factor, that exponential piece that allows us to feel differently in the moment. And instead of trying to escape, we're fully in something. So what was really needed at the time was what I eventually discovered. This is the pull of something even more compelling. seeing my life and my work as a craft, that was compelling. We think of craft as if it has to be some kind of special, art-driven endeavor, but I would challenge you to see it for what it really is, seeing the magic of your everyday life. And I want you to start thinking about this question of, what if we treated our work and our life as if it was a craft, not something we're just trying to finish as quickly as possible? What if our experience of work could be crafted of simple, pleasurable, and highly effective moments that we're stringing together, one intentional moment at a time? You'll end up being highly engaged for a long period of time. Each moment where you're fully engaged adds to the next moment where we're fully engaged, mindful, present, attentive. And what happens when you're fully engaged for a long period of time? You become a craftsperson. You end up fine-tuning your craft through the details, through your own growth as you attend to things, the development of your skills as you practice. So everything can become a craft, whether it's the time you spend with your family, whether it's how present you are with the people in your life, whether they are personal or work-related. You can be present and feeling like this is a craft when you are on vacation, like the skill and the art of relaxing, or even knowing what to order in a restaurant can become a craft. And the main criteria is that it passes through your figurative hands. What if you were the one that transforms the situation, the room, and that end result? I often think of the legacy that we leave behind, not because we're trying to leave a legacy, but that we just allow ourselves to truly experience, to truly appreciate life to such an extent that your willingness to completely be all in and be there without reservations is a very clean energy and an expansive energy. And that kind of energy will change things around you, will change what you see, what you interpret, what you get to experience. And when you appreciate life, it allows you to accept situations as they are. And then from that place, you can elevate that experience even more. And what it looks like is a sense of attention to that single moment that allows you to notice it and not bypass it and not actually go beyond, but actually see what actually matters. You might see, for example, if it's a work situation, that you're not going to get the buy-in you need to move forward without adding this one piece of work, without doing something else. You might need to do more. You might see that the way you're speaking to someone isn't working. And when you're focused on your work and your life as your craft, you aren't afraid of the details. You aren't afraid of seeing what's not working. It doesn't mean anything about you. It just is. It's the part of the process of the thing that you're doing. And as a result, you allow yourself to use all your senses to tune into what is actually happening. This is how intuition and energy combine into your leadership and your presence in the moment. Really letting yourself experience every moment and every situation as a true heightening of all our senses of awareness, so that we know how to move forward and how to be here with whatever is happening right now. So working on your life as if it was your craft will allow you to become more efficient. It will allow you to use time more effectively. And it's the opposite of that daydreaming artist persona that we often stereotype when we think of craft or art and that kind of endeavor of creative qualities of, someone who's in the art world. This kind of person is this present, creative, and creator persona. The one who sees that nothing is broken, you are not broken, other people are not broken, so you don't need to fix things or escape life. Yet, if life is presenting you with something that obviously needs to be solved, to be worked on, or to be responded to, you will do it willingly, without any personal drama or without a personal agenda. And if you're listening to this right now and something in your life feels a bit off, check in with yourself to see if you've been rushing through life lately. I often work with my clients to slow things down, not from a time point of view, but from a feeling point of view. For example, are you trying to cover up that feeling of unease, overwhelm, or discomfort with something else, like another trip, a project, hobby, shopping, food, you name it? Are you filling your agenda and your calendar because you have boredom? Or you're afraid of being bored? Or you don't want that sense of not having anything to do? And if you don't feel comfortable being bored or with yourself for a bit, it is very natural to want to fill all your waking hours with something quote unquote productive. And so productivity that isn't towards something that really matters to you and that isn't important to you is really an illusion. It just covers up the real thing you need to do. And it gives you a reason to put off making that decision you need to make or doing the work you actually need to do. Usually that means deciding if the work we're doing has purpose or meaning. And if so, what is it? If we don't believe in what we're doing, part of us hesitates. We don't put the attention, we won't put the awareness, we don't put the focus on what is required for us to do well. We keep hoping that this thing or this project or this work disappears, when in fact it really just keeps coming right back up. So we have to allow ourselves to pay attention. And when you do put your attention on something, your energy around it changes. You decide to do your work, not from a place of dread or overwhelm, but from a place of calm and purposefulness. And whether you realize it or not, the way you do your work is going to be at times more important than what you do. And the result of working this way is that you have less fear. You have less anger as your driving force and the driver of what you do. And instead, you're more courageous about how you do your work and how you express what you know to be true or the things that you're not sure of. You are becoming more you in the process. So, in summary, to wrap this up, life really isn't about this idea of producing. It's about creating. It's about contributing ourselves to this mix so that we allow ourselves to be fully human, present, whole, within our experience. Not because it always feels good or because it feels easy, but because we're committed to painting our own versions of life that may not look like what others have achieved. So no amount of doing is going to make all your problems disappear. So that unlock is to change our experience of life. This is your craft, and you are allowed to make it your own. And if you want to experience this all for yourself, you want to become fully engaged to make your work your craft, I encourage you to reach out at mayemson.com/contact to schedule a consultation. It is that next step for you to understand whether or not coaching is right for you, how it will work for you, and how will you actually achieve the results that you want to get next. I love you, my friends. I will talk to you next time. Bye now. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.